What were the main causes of the French Revolution, and how did they contribute to the outbreak of the Revolution in 1789? The French Revolution was a major political and social upheaval that occurred in France in the late 18th century, and it had profound effects on the course of modern European history. There were many factors that contributed to the outbreak of the French Revolution, but some of the main causes include: 1. Social inequality. France in the 18th century was a deeply unequal society, with a rigid social hierarchy that placed the nobility and clergy at the top and the common people at the bottom. The vast majority of the population was poor and had few rights or opportunities, while the wealthy elites enjoyed immense privileges and power. 2. Economic crisis. France was also facing a severe economic crisis in the years leading up to the revolution, with widespread poverty, unemployment, and hunger. The French government was deeply in debt, and attempts to reform the tax system and raise revenues were met with resistance from the wealthy elites. 3. Political corruption. The French monarchy was seen as deeply corrupt and ineffective, with many officials and members of the royal court using their positions for personal gain and ignoring the needs and interests of the people. 4. Enlightenment ideas. The ideas of the Enlightenment, which emphasized reason, liberty, and equality, were also a major factor in the outbreak of the French Revolution. Enlightenment thinkers such as Rousseau and Voltaire criticized the social and political structures of their time and called for radical reforms. 5. Influence of the American Revolution. The successful American Revolution also inspired many French people to question the legitimacy of their own government and demand greater rights and freedoms. Together, these factors created a volatile atmosphere in France, with widespread discontent and unrest among the population. In 1789, this discontent boiled over into the French Revolution, which would have profound and far-reaching consequences for France and the world. How did the ideas of the Enlightenment influence the French Revolution, and what impact did these ideas have on the development of modern democracy and human rights? The Enlightenment was a philosophical and cultural movement that emerged in Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries. It emphasized the importance of reason, individualism, and progress, and it challenged many of the traditional beliefs and institutions of European society. The ideas of the Enlightenment had a profound impact on the French Revolution, and they continue to influence modern democracy and human rights to this day. One of the most important Enlightenment ideas that influenced the French Revolution was the concept of natural rights. Enlightenment thinkers such as John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau argued that all human beings are born with certain inalienable rights, such as the right to life, liberty, and property. These rights were seen as inherent to human nature, and they were not dependent on any particular government or social order. This idea of natural rights helped to inspire the demand for greater political and social freedoms during the French Revolution. Another important Enlightenment concept that influenced the French Revolution was the idea of popular sovereignty. Enlightenment thinkers such as Montesquieu and Rousseau argued that the legitimacy of government ultimately rested on the consent of the governed. This idea challenged the traditional idea of absolute monarchy, and it helped to inspire the demand for democratic government and representative institutions during the French Revolution. The French Revolution also drew on other Enlightenment ideas, such as the importance of reason and progress, the rejection of traditional authority, and the belief in the potential for social and political change. These ideas helped to shape the political and social reforms of the Revolution, including the abolition of feudalism, the establishment of the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, and the introduction of new institutions such as the National Assembly and the Committee of Public Safety. The impact of these Enlightenment ideas on the development of modern democracy and human rights cannot be overstated. The concept of natural rights and popular sovereignty helped to inspire the American Revolution and the development of modern democracy in the United States. The French Revolution also had a profound impact on the development of modern democracy and human rights, influencing movements such as the abolition of slavery and the struggle for women's suffrage. In summary, the ideas of the Enlightenment had a profound impact on the French Revolution, inspiring demands for greater political and social freedoms, and helping to shape the reforms and institutions of the revolution. These ideas continue to influence modern democracy and human rights to this day. What were the major social and economic changes that occurred during the French Revolution, and how did these changes transform French society and the wider world? The French Revolution brought about major social and economic changes in France and had far-reaching effects on the rest of Europe and the world. Some of the major changes that occurred during the French Revolution include: 1. Abolition of feudalism. One of the most significant social changes of the French Revolution was the abolition of feudalism. The old feudal system had divided French society into three estates, with the nobility and clergy enjoying special privileges and exemptions from taxes. The Revolution abolished the privileges of the nobility and the clergy and abolished feudal obligations and serfdom. 2. Redistribution of land. Another major social change was the redistribution of land. During the Revolution, the government seized land from the nobility and sold it to ordinary citizens at low prices. This led to a major transfer of wealth and property from the aristocracy to the middle and lower classes. 3. Creation of a national identity. The French Revolution also helped to create a sense of national identity among the French people. The Revolution introduced the concept of the citizen and the nation and promoted the idea of a unified French state based on common values and ideals. 4. Introduction of universal education. The French Revolution introduced the concept of universal education, with the government creating a system of public schools for all citizens. This helped to spread literacy and education throughout French society, laying the foundation for future social and economic progress. 5. Economic liberalization. The revolution also brought about significant economic changes, including the introduction of free trade and the abolition of guilds and other trade restrictions. This helped to promote economic growth and development, and lay the foundation for the modern capitalist economy. Overall, the French Revolution brought about major social and economic changes that transformed French society and had a profound impact on the rest of Europe and the world. The revolution abolished feudalism and established the concept of universal education, promoting greater equality and social mobility. It also promoted economic liberalization and the development of a modern capitalist economy, laying the foundation for future economic growth and prosperity. What role did Napoleon Bonaparte play in the French Revolution, and how did his rise to power impact the course of the revolution and the subsequent history of Europe? Napoleon Bonaparte was a key figure in the French Revolution, and his rise to power had a profound impact on the course of the revolution and the subsequent history of Europe. Napoleon first rose to prominence during the revolution as a successful military commander. He played a key role in several major victories for the French army, including the Battle of Austerlitz and the Battle of Borodino. In 1799, he led a coup d'état that overthrew the existing government and established the consulate, with himself as first consul. As first consul and later as emperor, Napoleon implemented a number of significant reforms in France. He reformed the legal system, establishing the Napoleonic Code, which laid the foundation for modern civil law. He also introduced new educational reforms, established the Bank of France, and implemented policies to promote economic growth and development. However, Napoleon's rule was also marked by his military ambitions and his desire to expand French power and influence. He led several major military campaigns, including invasions of Egypt and Russia, and his wars with other European powers helped to spread the ideals of the French Revolution across the continent. Despite his successes, Napoleon's rule was also marked by authoritarianism and repression. He established a strong central government and limited civil liberties, and his reign was characterized by a cult of personality and the suppression of dissent. Napoleon's downfall came in 1812, when his disastrous invasion of Russia led to the collapse of his empire. He was forced to abdicate and was exiled to the island of Elba, but he later returned to France and briefly regained power during the Hundred Days. He was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, and he was exiled again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena, where he died in 1821. In summary, Napoleon Bonaparte played a significant role in the French Revolution, rising to power as a military leader and implementing significant reforms in France. His ambitions and military campaigns also had a profound impact on the course of European history, spreading the ideals of the revolution and leading to major political and social changes across the continent. However, his rule was also marked by authoritarianism and repression, and his downfall ultimately led to the restoration of the monarchy in France and the reshaping of European politics for decades to come. What was the legacy of the French Revolution, and how did it shape the development of modern democracy, nationalism, and international relations? The legacy of the French Revolution is vast and multifaceted, shaping the development of modern democracy, nationalism, and international relations in a number of significant ways. 1. Democracy. The French Revolution was a watershed moment in the development of modern democracy. The revolution introduced the concept of popular sovereignty, the idea that political power derives from the people rather than from the monarch or other traditional authorities. This idea helped to inspire the development of modern democratic institutions and the spread of democratic ideals throughout the world. 2. Nationalism. The French Revolution also played a major role in the development of modern nationalism. The revolution introduced the idea of a unified French nation based on common values and ideals, and this idea helped to inspire the development of nationalist movements in other parts of Europe and beyond. The idea of national self-determination and the right of nations to determine their own destiny has been a major theme in international relations ever since. 3. Human rights. The French Revolution also helped to promote the concept of human rights and individual liberties. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, adopted in 1789, established the idea that all people are born free and equal and have certain inalienable rights. This concept has been a cornerstone of modern democracies and has helped to inspire the development of international human rights law and institutions. 4. International relations. The French Revolution also had a significant impact on international relations. The Revolutionary Wars, fought between France and other European powers, helped to spread the ideals of the revolution across the continent and led to major political and social changes in many countries. The Congress of Vienna, held in 1815 after Napoleon's defeat, reshaped the balance of power in Europe and laid the foundation for modern international relations. 5. Social and economic change. The French Revolution also had a profound impact on social and economic change. The revolution abolished feudalism and the privileges of the nobility, leading to greater social mobility and equality. It also introduced new economic policies and institutions that helped to promote economic growth and development, laying the foundation for modern capitalism. In summary, the French Revolution had a far-reaching impact on the development of modern democracy, nationalism, human rights, international relations, and social and economic change. Its legacy continues to shape the world today, and its ideas and ideals remain an important source of inspiration for those working to promote democracy, human rights, and social justice around the globe. How did the French Revolution influence the development of art, literature, and culture, and what impact did it have on the wider world of ideas and aesthetics? The French Revolution had a significant impact on the development of art, literature, and culture, and it helped to usher in a new era of creativity and innovation in these fields. 1. Romanticism. The French Revolution helped to give rise to the Romantic movement in literature and art. Romanticism emphasized individualism, emotion, and the beauty of nature, and it rejected the strict rules and conventions of traditional art and literature. Romanticism had a profound impact on the development of modern art and literature, inspiring generations of artists and writers to explore new forms of expression and to push the boundaries of what was considered acceptable. 2. Realism. The French Revolution also helped to give rise to the realist movement in art and literature. Realism emphasized the depiction of everyday life and the struggles of ordinary people, and it rejected the idealized and romanticized depictions of the past. Realism had a significant impact on the development of modern literature and art, inspiring a new generation of artists and writers to focus on the real world and to depict it as honestly and truthfully as possible. 3. Political satire. The French Revolution also inspired a new wave of political satire and commentary. What lessons can we learn from the French Revolution today, and how can we apply these lessons to contemporary issues and challenges facing our world? There are several lessons that we can learn from the French Revolution that are still relevant today. 1. The importance of equality. The French Revolution taught us the importance of equality and the need to fight against injustice and discrimination. Today, we continue to face many social and economic inequalities, and it is important that we work to address these issues and ensure that everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. 2. The power of collective action. The French Revolution showed us the power of collective action and the ability of people to come together to demand change. Today, we face many global challenges such as climate change and inequality, and it is important that we work together to address these issues and create a better future for all. 3. The need for political reform. The French Revolution highlighted the need for political reform and the importance of having a government that is accountable to the people. Today, we continue to face many political challenges, and it is important that we work to create more transparent and accountable political systems that truly represent the interests of all citizens. 4. The role of ideas and ideals. The French Revolution showed us the power of ideas and ideals in shaping the course of history. Today, we continue to face many complex challenges that require creative and innovative solutions. It is important that we continue to foster a culture of critical thinking and debate, and that we work to promote new ideas and ways of thinking that can help us to address these challenges. 5. The importance of human rights. The French Revolution emphasized the importance of human rights and the need to protect the dignity and freedom of all people. Today, we continue to face many challenges to human rights around the world, and it is important that we work to promote and protect these rights, and to ensure that everyone is able to live with dignity and respect. In summary, the French Revolution offers many important lessons that are still relevant today, and it is important that we continue to learn from its legacy as we work to address the complex challenges facing our world. By promoting equality, collective action, political reform, critical thinking, and human rights, we can build a better future for all people. How did the French Revolution impact the lives of ordinary people, and what were some of the experiences and perspectives of those who lived through this turbulent period in history? The French Revolution had a profound impact on the lives of ordinary people, both in France and around the world. It was a time of great upheaval and change, and many people experienced both the positive and negative consequences of these changes. For many people, the French Revolution represented a time of hope and possibility. It was a time when the old social and political structures were being dismantled, and when new ideas about equality and democracy were taking hold. Many people saw the revolution as an opportunity to create a more just and fair society, and they were excited about the prospect of greater political and social freedom. However, for many others, the French Revolution was a time of great fear and uncertainty. The violence and chaos of the revolution created a sense of insecurity and instability, and many people were afraid for their lives and their livelihoods. The Reign of Terror, which lasted from 1793 to 1794, was a particularly brutal period in which thousands of people were executed for their perceived opposition to the revolution. Despite these challenges, the French Revolution did bring about significant changes that improved the lives of ordinary people. For example, the revolution abolished feudalism and serfdom, which had kept many people in a state of servitude for generations. It also introduced new laws and institutions that protected the rights and freedoms of citizens, such as the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. At the same time, the French Revolution also had negative consequences for many people. The economic upheaval caused by the revolution led to widespread poverty and unemployment, and the wars that followed the revolution had a devastating impact on many communities. In summary, the French Revolution had a complex and varied impact on the lives of ordinary people. While it brought about important changes that improved the lives of many, it also created a sense of fear and uncertainty that lasted for many years. Understanding the experiences and perspectives of those who lived through this turbulent period can help us to better understand the impact of historical events on ordinary people, and to appreciate the complexities of social and political change. What were the major turning points and events of the French Revolution, and how did they shape the course of the revolution and its aftermath? The French Revolution was a complex and multifaceted event, with many turning points and key events that shaped its course and its aftermath. Here are some of the major turning points and events of the revolution. 1. The Estates General, 1789. The Estates General was a meeting of the three estates of French society, the clergy, the nobility, and the commoners, that was convened by King Louis XVI in 1789. The meeting was intended to address the financial crisis facing the French government, but it quickly turned into a forum for demands for political reform. 2. The storming of the Bastille, 1789. The storming of the Bastille on July 14, 1789, is often seen as the beginning of the French Revolution. The Bastille was a symbol of royal power, and its fall was a powerful symbol of the people's ability to challenge the monarchy. 3. The Reign of Terror, 1793 to 1794. The Reign of Terror was a period of extreme violence and repression during the Revolution. It was led by the radical Jacobin government and resulted in the execution of tens of thousands of people, many of whom were innocent. 4. The rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, 1799. Napoleon Bonaparte was a military leader who rose to power during the Revolution. He eventually overthrew the revolutionary government and established himself as Emperor of France, bringing an end to the revolution. 5. The Congress of Vienna, 1815. The Congress of Vienna was a meeting of European leaders that was convened after the defeat of Napoleon. The Congress aimed to restore stability to Europe after the upheavals of the Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, and it had a profound impact on the political and social order of Europe. Each of these events had a significant impact on the course of the French Revolution and its aftermath, shaping the political and social landscape of France and Europe for many years to come. What were the major political and ideological factions and movements that emerged during the French Revolution, and how did they contribute to the shaping of the Revolution and the subsequent history of France and Europe? The French Revolution was marked by the emergence of various political and ideological factions and movements, each with their own ideas and agendas for the future of France. Here are some of the major factions and movements that emerged during the Revolution. 1. The Girondins. The Girondins were a moderate political faction that advocated for a constitutional monarchy and political reforms. They were named after the region of Gironde, where many of their leaders came from. 2. The Jacobins. The Jacobins were a radical political faction that favored the establishment of a republic and the abolition of the monarchy. They were named after the Jacobin Club, a popular political club in Paris. 3. The Cordeliers. The Cordeliers were a left-wing political faction that was more radical than the Girondins but less extreme than the Jacobins. They were named after a convent in Paris where they held their meetings. 4. The Sans-Culottes. The Sans-Culottes were a group of urban workers and artisans who played a prominent role in the Revolution. They were so named because they did not wear the knee-length breeches that were a sign of aristocratic fashion. 5. The Royalists. The Royalists were a group that supported the restoration of the monarchy and opposed the revolution. They were often referred to as the counter-revolutionaries. These factions and movements played a significant role in shaping the course of the revolution, with the Girondins and Jacobins in particular vying for control of the government and the direction of the revolution. The radicalism of the Jacobins and the violence of the Reign of Terror eventually led to the downfall of the faction and the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. The revolution also had a profound impact on the subsequent history of France and Europe, paving the way for the development of modern democracy and nationalism. How did the French Revolution influence the development of modern nationalism, and what impact did it have on the rise of nation-states in Europe and beyond? The French Revolution had a profound impact on the development of modern nationalism and the rise of nation-states in Europe and beyond. Here are some of the ways in which the revolution influenced these developments. 1. The idea of popular sovereignty. The French Revolution introduced the idea that the people, rather than monarchs or aristocrats, should be the ultimate source of political power. This idea of popular sovereignty laid the foundation for the development of modern nationalism, which emphasizes the importance of the nation and its people as the basis of political power. 2. The creation of a French national identity. The Revolution also contributed to the development of a French national identity. The Revolution abolished the privileges of the nobility and the clergy, and created a new system of government based on merit rather than birth. This new system of government helped to create a sense of national unity and identity among the French people. 3. The spread of revolutionary ideals. The ideas of the French Revolution, including liberty, equality, and fraternity, spread throughout Europe and beyond, inspiring nationalist movements in other countries. These movements often sought to emulate the French Revolution by establishing republics and abolishing traditional forms of government. 4. The rise of nation-states. The French Revolution played a key role in the rise of nation-states in Europe and beyond. The idea of the nation as the basis of political power led to the creation of new nation-states, such as Germany and Italy, and the strengthening of existing ones, such as France and Britain. These nation-states became the dominant form of political organization in Europe and around the world. In summary, the French Revolution had a significant impact on the development of modern nationalism and the rise of nation-states. Its emphasis on popular sovereignty, the creation of a French national identity, the spread of revolutionary ideals, and the rise of nation-states all contributed to the shaping of the modern world. What were the major military conflicts and wars that occurred during the French Revolution, and how did they impact the course of the revolution and the subsequent history of Europe? The French Revolution was marked by a series of major military conflicts and wars that had a significant impact on the course of the revolution and the subsequent history of Europe. Here are some of the major conflicts and wars of the French Revolution. 1. War of the First Coalition, 1792–1797. This war was fought between France and a coalition of European powers, including Austria, Prussia, and Great Britain. The war was initially successful for France, but eventually turned against them, leading to a series of defeats and setbacks. 2. War of the Second Coalition, 1798–1802. This war was fought between France and a new coalition of European powers, including Austria, Russia, and Great Britain. The war saw a series of French victories under the leadership of Napoleon Bonaparte, including the Battle of the Nile and the Battle of Marengo. 3. Napoleonic Wars, 1803–1815. The Napoleonic Wars were a series of wars fought between France and various coalitions of European powers. These wars saw a series of major battles and campaigns, including the Battle of Austerlitz, the Battle of Waterloo, and the Peninsular War. These wars had a significant impact on the course of the revolution and the subsequent history of Europe. The wars helped to spread revolutionary ideas and ideals throughout Europe, leading to the establishment of new republics and the overthrow of traditional forms of government. The wars also contributed to the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, who became one of the most influential figures in European history. The Napoleonic Wars ultimately led to the downfall of Napoleon and the establishment of a new balance of power in Europe, which set the stage for the development of modern Europe.